I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. Want to recap the happenings of Thanksgiving. Hope each and every one of you had a phenomenal turkey day with your loved ones. I had a really good day. I'll tell you who didn't have a good day. The Lions, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Where to start? We're going to start in the Motor City. Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, playing their most complete game probably since week one, oddly enough, against these same Lions. Green Bay Packers defense in crunch time, getting to Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown, superstar wide receiver of the Detroit Lions, had to leave early with an ankle injury. And it didn't seem during that juncture that it was going to affect the Lions' offense as Tesla was stepping in rather well. And Jahmyr Gibbs had a couple of moments of brilliance doing his best Barry Sanders impersonations. But ultimately, the difference in the game, the Lions just had no answer for the Packers offense as Jordan Love was essentially able to do whatever he wanted for the duration of the game. And with the win, the Green Bay Packers are temporarily in first place as they will be keeping a close eye on the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears as a Bears loss will propel the Packers back into sole possession of first place in the NFC North. And, you know, when this team first traded for Micah Parsons to bring him in, you know, some people on my panel, myself included, were a little skeptical. And while we know that Micah is a terrific talent, he had a propensity for disappearing in some games. But over the course of the last 2, 3 weeks, Micah Parsons has really been a force in crunch time for this Packers defense and really deciding the outcome of some of these games. You know, he was big in the Giants game on the road. Most recently, yesterday, Turkey Day, balling out and just making some big time plays when they needed it most. And the Detroit Lions right now find themselves on the outside looking in. And this is going to be tough for the Lions to creep back into the playoff picture, given the fact that the Packers and the Bears are both playing good football. But the Lions, of course, will be rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles today, just like the Packers will. John Lee 8, how you doing, boss? Thanks for tuning in. Packers coming into the season, originally I had them finishing third in this division. And then right before the season started, I retracted that, picked them to win the North and go to the NFC Championship game because of the addition of Micah Parsons. What we saw yesterday is the best version of the Green Bay Packers. That's the version of the Green Bay Packers that can make a legitimate run in January into February. Um, Jordan Love was sensational. Can't say anything more about it. And that's the kind of play that you want from Jordan Love this time of the year. And they're going to need that if the Packers are going to be a threat to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Rams. But a big win for the Packers, temporarily in first. And in my opinion, with an Eagle victory today, which I did pick the Eagles to win today, the Packers will be in first place. Moving it along, we're going to hit on the Dallas Cowboys as they keep fighting. Um, I said a couple of weeks ago on the show that sometimes tragedy can galvanize a team. And the tragic events with Marshawn Breeland appear to have done exactly that for this Dallas Cowboys team, as in a short week, they have defeated both the defending Super Bowl champions and the defending AFC champions, both in AT&T Stadium. Cowboys serving it up at home. Big wins. Yesterday, Dak Prescott just making play after play. They did not allow themselves to unravel when a touchdown was called back. And a defense that was made fun of early and often this year, while there's still some kinks in the armor, the Dallas Cowboys defense has played a lot more functionally. Coming into the year, they were expected to be one of the worst rushing offenses in the NFL. Javonte Williams getting some big yards yesterday. And the Cowboys just getting a big win. And is it me, or does it seem like this is truly the end of the Chiefs dynasty and the Chiefs dominance as the Chiefs fall to 500, still have a chance to make the postseason, but it just seems like the Chiefs are always on the wrong side of these close games. And that's something that the Chiefs over the years have built their reputation on, is winning these close, decisive games. All I could say is this. They're very fortunate to at least have won the Indy game the previous week, but the Kansas City Chiefs still have a shot at a wild card. There will be no division title for the defending three-time consecutive AFC champs this year, as Denver looks to have a stranglehold on the West, and I don't think they're catching the Chargers either. Some may ask what's wrong with the Chiefs. I don't necessarily know if there's something wrong with them. I think that just the league is starting to catch up. This is a team that year in and year out has been playing deep into the playoffs every single year. And that's a lot of miles on that team. Travis Kelsey, I thought, played a pretty good game yesterday. Patrick Mahomes making the throws. But, people have to understand Dallas Cowboys really do have a high octane offense. And when they are flowing on offense and getting just enough defensive stops, they are as tough as anyone to beat in the NFL. And I personally believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to find their way into the playoffs one way or the other. Cowboys improved to 6-5-1. Most definitely have a shot to get into the postseason. They will probably see. That's a weird one with Dallas. Do you root for the Bears or the Eagles? Because there is still outside hope that the Cowboys could catch the Eagles, but I would think that the Cowboys' most realistic way into the playoffs would be as a wild card. Therefore, you're probably rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Chicago Bears, because once you're in, that's all that matters. But yes, when you consider first-time head coach in Schottenheimer, when you consider the tragedy that this team went through, when you consider that they got off to a really terrible start on defense, particularly that they were missing some big players, you trade Micah Parsons, all these things going into the season, and the Cowboys are clawing their way back. They're showing a lot of heart. And this time of the year, that is what matters more than the injuries. That's what matters more than the X's and O's at times, is, the galvanization of a team. And that's something that this tragedy and these circumstances have produced. The Cowboys are definitely hanging tough and riding together. And that's a big reason why they have a shot to make these playoffs. In the nightcap, Joe Burrow brings a lot of sorrow to the Ravens yesterday. The Baltimore Ravens, on so many levels, beat themselves yesterday. Isaiah Likely, going into the end zone for a short touchdown, bobbles the ball on the half-yard line, called a touchback. That was a turning point in the game where I think the Baltimore Ravens had a chance to really seize momentum. But just a lot of just unforced errors. And, you got to give another embattled defense some credit here. Cincinnati Bengals, definitely scrutinized all throughout the year about how porous their defense is. I mean, this is a team that has scored 30 plus points multiple occasions and couldn't leave with a W because their defense was that bad. Enter Joe Burrow, sit back down Joe Flacco, and Burrow really looked comfortable. It took him a little while. He was missing some open receivers. You know, when you miss that much time, you're going to bring a little bit of rust. You know, just ask Jameis Winston. But a really good victory for these Bengals as they actually still have a shot if they were to win out to find themselves in a final wild card position, very similarly to what happened to them last year. They currently are on the outside looking in, but a hot streak could definitely get the Bengals going. An impressive win. They didn't have T. Higgins yesterday, but truly the turning point and what decided this game in the Bengals' favor, in addition to some of Baltimore's, miscues, was putting heat on Lamar Jackson. That interception inside the red zone on Lamar's blind side, he was trying to throw the ball, just a dying duck, intercepted in the second layer of the defense. And, the Bengals did not look like a team that was in the cellar. They did not look like a team that has been on such a bad losing streak. They look like a team that wants to keep playing football. And the North has been a tough one to forecast because when you look at Pittsburgh's offensive inadequacies, you look at Baltimore's defensive issues all throughout the year. They finally got Lamar back. Burrow finally comes back now for the Bengals. Rodgers is currently dinged up, but I would think that he'll be back soon. And then you have Shador Sanders getting his feet wet. This is a division that's going through a lot of turnover right now. So while I still think the Ravens are going to win this division, and I did pick the Bengals going into this particular game, it's going to be interesting down the stretch. I will say this much. Nobody in the AFC North is Super Bowl caliber this year, and that's usually not the case. But this year, that is the case. AFC wide open right now. You got the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots atop the conference. You got the Indianapolis Colts just on their heels. You have an upstart Los Angeles Chargers team. And you have a Buffalo team and a Kansas City team who are underachieving due to their recent standards of always being in play for AFC title games. So definitely a changing of the guard in the AFC as well. Today, Philadelphia Eagles host the Chicago Bears. I'm expecting a close game, but I've got the Eagles winning this thing 26-20. I'm expecting a close game. Give me the Eagles by a score. And I'm waiting to see if Saquon Barkley's going to finally get going. It's been a very uphill battle for not just he, but that entire Eagles offense. They do sport one of the best defenses in the league, which has bailed them out time and time again. But when you're going against some of the upper echelon teams in this conference, two mainly that come to mind would, of course, be the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, two teams that I think really match up well with the Eagles. And, they barely survived that Packer game. That was a defensive struggle as well. So the Eagles definitely have to find themselves on offense if they're going to repeat and get back to the Super Bowl. I will be back later today with Idris, possibly more company as well, as we are going to break down the rest of Week 13's NFL preview. Look for us after the Eagles Bears game. I'll be making an announcement on my socials in just a bit. Again, I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving yesterday. It was really nice being around some family. Got plenty of lefties. Gonna pick up the house, gonna chill out, and gonna enjoy some football. Have a great day, everyone. I'll be back later.